I'm from Sydney of Australia. Actually, my friend asked me to put up my hand to ask questions. I would like to know, how do Chinese entrepreneurs think about so many large-scale organizations which are developing in Australia? Now in Australia, there's a group of Chinese entrepreneurs and companies developing in Australia. So what are your views about that? What are some suggestions that you may have? Thank you. So this question is about large enterprises making investments in Australia. So may I invite Mr. Ji to comment first? So you are a pioneer in making investments overseas. So what do you think about the prospect of Australia? I think, first of all, that economic development is a global concept. In relation to distribution of resources, it's not even. And if you treat resources as your own resources, I think, of course, efficiency will be higher locally. And now let's say if you talk about oil, we have a shortage of oil. If we only make use of imported ways, then there may be some problems in the political scene, then our economy will be threatened. The same goes with the mines and iron ore in Australia. China is a major steel producing country as well as a major steel consumer. But then we lack ore resources. So if we are able to grab international resources for our own use, that will be helpful to national security and safety. I think this doesn't only happen to China, it applies to the whole world. This morning, a speaker said that within a year, if you talk about acquisition and disposal, basically the percentage or the amount is more or less the same. I think that is about that remark was made by the German speaker this morning. Now China encourages reaching out. I think political leaders of China are really intelligent. That's all I would like to say. Thank you. This lady, please.
Regarding to investment in real estate and outbound, what is the projection in terms of real estate interest from China to United States?
Okay. 这位问题呢是关于那个在夏威夷过来，它是关于投资在房地产方面的，在美国市场。关于这方面，我看要不然我们几位演讲嘉宾呢
I think I will see which speaker will be interested to comment on this in relation to real estate investment in the U.S. So I understand that DunAn is also involved in real estate, so perhaps I will invite Mr. Wu to share his experience. So how do you make investment overseas, including in the U.S.? Thank you. I think this is quite a challenging question because we do real estate business mainly in China, mainland China. Our company has not studied the American real estate market, so I can only share with you my subjective understanding, sorry. Over the past 10 years, I understand that the real estate market is now in a very sensitive phase. The government does have some development measures, and the market is also reacting in different ways. Besides, based on my understanding, now I have friends in the business sector and in the industrial sector. They have bought real estate or properties in the U.S. Some of them buy properties for their own use because they are immigrants, and some treat those as investments. And they are also transactions to some of my friends. Of course, this doesn't represent our main investment direction. if you talk about Chinese enterprises going into the U.S., I think real estate is not the major focus. The background of the two real estate markets is very different. For example, transaction system and also ownership policy, these are different. So I don't think that is going to be a major investment of Chinese enterprises. In the future, there may be some senior executives going to the U.S. to buy properties. And this behavior, I think, is mainly because after 2008, after the financial crisis, the U.S. market corrected a bit, and so there is the low-cost opportunity. Besides, now the U.S. economy is recovering, so there is the wealth effect. In the future, I believe there will be this phenomenon that will continue. That's my observation. Thank you. I believe mainland enterprises will share these thoughts.
I'm asking this question from the perspective of the Independent Power Producers Forum and the importance of Chinese investments and business moving overseas. How does China's Exim Bank and its version of what the U.S. Foreign Commercial Service, how does that work in supporting gentlemen like on this panel with developing businesses overseas? Is there a support entity within the structure of the Chinese government to encourage and assist Chinese enterprises moving overseas? And if so, how does it work? We're very interested in being a part of helping this, especially in power, energy, wind, solar, etc.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 他的意思就是说呢
What he means is, overall speaking, about the government, well, in relation to investment in energy, does the Chinese government have some measures or encouragement policies so that enterprises can take part in overseas investment? So this is again about overseas investment. So I guess you can share your views, especially about the energy sector. Mr. Ji, I think you are most experienced in investment, so can you please go ahead first? Well, we do not invest in everything, of course. So we have to look at the market environment and investment effectiveness and efficiency. Just now, an answer was given about the real estate sector. I think the situation is more or less the same. So sometimes, even when we make investment in gold, after making an investment, gold price will come down. And if you look at the energy sector, well, if it is profitable, we will go ahead. If there is not profit potential, then we won't do it. We're talking about business, so operating efficiency is also important. Does the government offer any encouragement policies for you to make energy investments overseas? Is there such a platform? If you look at the privately run enterprises, the government allows us to make our choice because the enterprises are the entities and we have to bear our own risk. Of course, the government has its policies, but I haven't really heard about this kind of encouragement policies in this regard. There's a question that I have just received. It's about customer service. So for privately run businesses, how can you make sure that the customers are satisfied? How can you guarantee or ensure quality? I guess we can ask Mr. Zhang because he is responsible for a fashion brand. So how can you make sure that customers are satisfied by your products? In relation to customer service, Hong Kong is doing a very good job. I think Hong Kong is a typical case about successful transformation into a service economy. And now mainland China is also in this transformation. We want to develop better service industries. If you look at ourselves, How can we make a good job in satisfying customers? How can we offer good customer service? Number one, we have to be serious in understanding female customers' needs. We have to be need-oriented. Whenever a customer buys a piece of garment, that will lead to sales increase to us. So how can we be customer-centered? We have to understand their needs. We have to understand how their lives are going to change, how we can offer creative products to lead the trend. So we have to understand the customer's mind. We have to understand their preference. Besides, we need good system. We need good customer service system. We need to study and understand customers' past purchases. So what did they purchase in the past and what is now in their mind? We need a scientific system to analyze all these data. So about customer service, I think this is a very important issue. Mainland enterprises need to do a better job. We also should learn from Hong Kong's practices and also Japan's practice because they are doing a good job in this area. So I think customer service is very important to all enterprises. For mainland enterprises, if we want to be transformed, if we want our service industry to account for a bigger share of GDP, then this is an important direction we have to look at. Because of time constraints, well, we have to adjourn at 5. So the last question will be taken now. My name is Yin De-chuan. I'm from Hong Kong.
For the speakers to understand Chinese.
My first question is for Mr. Ji. First of all, thank you very much. You love Hong Kong people so much. Now, I understand that in the past, Shanghainese don't really look up to people from other provinces. So they regard other people from other places as rural villagers, not really civilized. So, well, I must say that I am happy after listening to your remarks. And just now, you said that you have already worked on over 1,000 brands in Hong Kong. Perhaps after the meeting, I would like to have a conversation with you in private. I have a suggestion. Can you advise Hong Kong people? Now, if we want to reach out, that's not only about B2B or B2C. It should be O2O, online to online. So you have to send SKD to other places, to each and every other country. Then perhaps this will be very helpful to your company. Now, my next question is for Mr. Wu. Mr. Wu, I really admire you. You started from a small beginning, and I know that there is a Mr. Xiang Weiqing who also shared a more or less the same beginning. I am most interested in energy conservation because in China, smart cities are being developed. When it comes to smart cities, there isn't even the standard. So, but then there is already the ranking. I am really very puzzled by that. If you talk about energy conservation, in China there are 103 pilot points, and I hope after the meeting I can talk to you further. Perhaps you can work with Hong Kong people. Many Hong Kong people would like to participate and make contribution to smart cities in China. Oh, he is so smart. He has asked 2 questions. So first of all, I would invite Mr. Ji to take the first question about Shanghai people, Shanghainese and Hong Kongers. For a long period of time, Shanghainese had treated foreigners as villagers, and they didn't really look up to people from Taiwan, but then they didn't name Hong Kong people as villagers. Never. They hadn't named Hong Kong people as villagers. After the open reform in Shanghai, there have been a lot of major buildings and major stores and major facilities created and built by Hong Kongers. So many people buy properties in order to upgrade their life, the standard of living. For example, I am one of the cases. I only buy properties developed by Hong Kong people, not by anybody else. So Hong Kong is good. If you look at the planning and design and interior and so on, I think Hong Kong is very good in terms of property development. Shanghai is a city. Hong Kong is even a more modern city. So I think Shanghainese really admire Hong Kongers a lot. So if you talk about developing and exploring overseas markets, O2O, online to online, is most economical. It can penetrate a huge scope. And I think we have to also find appropriate agents for our business. We don't only manufacture products for daily living. Our products are also for industrial use. And for example, elevators, these may not be directly bought by residents or individuals. Yes. Another question is about smart cities and also energy conservation. I would ask Mr. Wu to give a brief answer. What do you think of smart cities and energy conservation? Thank you for your question. If you look at our own energy-saving business, that is related to our air conditioner business. And in the northern cities in China, we have underground sewage business that is also related. We make use of our equipment to extract or calculate the temperature difference with the underground sewage, and then we do energy conservation in relation to that segment. Secondly, I just talked about a ranking. I think that is only based on an industrial association in China. They did the ranking based on contract value. For that business segment, because it is like an upgrading of our existing product line or business line, in my presentation I said that we manufacture air conditioning units and other related products, and then in 2006 and thereafter, this business was at a flat phase, and we encountered a lot of challenges to overcome that bottleneck. And after doing a lot of studies and researches, we made use of the equipment to add on to the treatment of sewage. And so that is like an extension of our business, and it is a value-added endeavor. And you talked about smart cities, as you said. China so far has not got a very specific set of standards about smart cities. In many places, they have held high the slogan of building smart cities. However, there has not been specific standard. But I think that this is a meaningful work. We should at least get started, and then we can make use of some business approaches to gradually formulate standards so as to regularize the business. So in fact, I have some business partners and friends who have done researches in this area. You are most welcome to talk to me further. Even if you cannot cooperate with my company, I can introduce to you other business partners in Zhejiang. There are a number of companies who are able to offer a good service platform. I think this is going to be a very good result of today's meeting. I think there will be a lot of opportunities for you to have exchanges with our guests on stage. Because of time constraints, we have to adjourn here.
May I invite all of you to give a big round of applause to our three honorable speakers for their terrific presentations and sharing. Thank you very much. Thank you.